game about dying 1,000 times actually teach you how to live? Are we looking at a roguelike masterpiece or just a beautiful excuse to keep back running home to your family? Welcome to another Patient Gamer review. I'm hyped, you're ready, and today we're escaping the underworld with Zagreus in Hades. The developers of Hades are Supergiant Games. They make games that look and sound incredible. Games such as Bastion, Transistor. Their insight was a genius move. Roguelikes are usually minimalist, right? Supergiant completely threw that formula out the window and said, nah, let's make the story the main reward for failure. Every death sends you home to a new piece of the narrative. You are Zagreus, son of Hades, and you desperately want to leave the underworld. Now who wouldn't? The genius is to reverse the pacing. Dying isn't necessarily failure, it's just an intermission and sometimes a necessary step for you to reach the next level. You get a new conversation with Hades and the many other characters filled all over the underworld. It's an escalating, hilarious and genuinely moving family drama. In terms of gameplay and UI, this is definitely a masterpiece and brings simplicity and complexity so well together. This is pure isometric perfection. The dash is the MVP. 6 infernal arms, so you definitely won't be fiending for any more weapons, and due to the great build combinations through the randomized boosts from the Olympians, you definitely will have a lot to choose from. The UI is clean and stylized, and speaking of style, oh man, every single mythical god here is ridiculously cool. Zeus, Hades, Zagreus, everybody from down to Poseidon have a great design, and even the way their powers are integrated into each and every single weapon is extremely stylized and very cool. The world is gorgeous, hand-drawn mythology. Every single area from Elysium to Tartarus feels varied, but the real genius is how the randomized boons completely change your traverse land combat. The exploration is always consequential, leading to key story elements and massive power shifts. The value is simply insane, tied directly to replayability. The special X factor here is definitely the narrative integration of failure. Dying is the true mechanic. You never stop progressing, whether it's through new dialogue, new relationship progress, or new permanent upgrades. This is the only game where death feels like a reward. Hades is a landmark achievement. It took a traditionally harsh genre and gave it heart, humor, and a constantly evolving story. Even somebody such as myself who isn't necessarily a fan of roguelites, I was able to hop into this and thoroughly enjoy it, as they were able to still scratch that narrative itch in which I usually have for many games that I truly enjoy. Hades, in my personal opinion, is an 8.5 out of 10. A great combat experience that really makes you revel in the replayability of this title. Now, I'm giving it an 8.5 because for me personally, it didn't connect to that high level. As I said, these sorts of roguelike games aren't necessarily my bread and butter and are nor my favorites, but I definitely am able to appreciate the mastery and the greatness of Hades. If you're playing it, you might have a much greater experience and you might relate more so to the rating on Metacritic. It's a great time. Now, talking about the sequel, I've dived into Hades 2 already and it's a good time. Definitely much more different, as we're now transitioning from Melino, Zagreus' sister, instead of the main guy. This time we're not running from our father, but instead we're running after Kronos, the Titan of Time, using this time witchcraft and dark magic, as she didn't grow up in the depths of Hades. This experience is definitely very different, where positioning is much more important, as you can't just spam dash like big bro Zagreus. I'm interested to see how this experience will pan out, and you might hear a review from me quite soon on the entire experience. Thank you for joining me for another Patient Gamer review. Now, I will see you on the next video.